Have you ever wondered if the people who changed your life forever remember that moment as much as you do? Have you thought about the power that a single act of kindness has to completely alter someone's destiny? The story I'm about to tell you will make you believe in modern miracles and the relentless strength of human gratitude. On the freezing streets of Beijing, during the harsh winter of 2008, when snow covered the ancient hutongs like a silent blanket, a baby barely 6 months old was fighting to survive among wet cardboard and garbage bags. His name was Wang Tao, though no one knew it at that moment, and his story began in the most desperate way you can imagine. The cutting February air carried with it the aroma of burnt coal from traditional houses and the distant sound of traffic from the modern city. Wang Tao, wrapped in dirty rags that barely protected him from the deadly cold, cried with a weak voice that was lost in the wind. His parents, addicts who had lost all hope, had abandoned him 3 days earlier in an alley near the Temple of Heaven. His tiny lips were blue from hypothermia, his cheeks sunken from malnutrition, and his eyes, though barely open, reflected a sadness that no baby should ever know. Passers-by hurried past, avoiding looking toward the corner where the little one lay, as if ignorance could protect them from the harsh reality. Have you ever seen someone in a desperate situation and wondered if you should intervene? What stops you or what drives you to act? That's when she appeared. Sarah Jenkins, a 31-year-old American nurse working as a volunteer in an international medical program in Beijing. Sarah had reddish blonde hair that shone like copper under the winter light blue eyes full of compassion, and wore a red coat that made her stand out among the gray crowd of the city. That morning, Sarah was walking to the hospital where she provided her services when she heard a weak cry that chilled her blood. As a nurse, she had developed a special instinct for recognizing when someone was in mortal danger. She followed the sound until she found Wang Tao, and what she saw left her breathless. "Oh my God," she whispered in English, immediately kneeling next to the baby. Her expert hands quickly assessed his condition: severe dehydration, advanced hypothermia, signs of prolonged abandonment. Without thinking twice, she took off her coat and wrapped the little one, feeling how his tiny body trembled against her chest. Sarah knew the protocol. She should call the authorities, take the baby to the nearest hospital, follow established procedures. But she also knew that in China's overwhelmed social services system, this baby could get lost in paperwork and never receive the specialized attention he desperately needed. In that crucial moment, Sarah made a decision that would change 2 lives forever. She carried Wang Tao in her arms and ran to Beijing Children's Hospital, where she had contacts and could ensure he received immediate attention. For the next 3 months, Sarah became Wang Tao's protective shadow. She visited him every day after her shift, stayed for hours making sure the Chinese doctors understood exactly what treatments he needed, and slowly, miraculously, the baby began to recover. Have you ever had the experience of caring for someone vulnerable? How did that experience change you? Wang Tao responded to Sarah's voice in a special way. When she entered the hospital room, his little eyes would light up and his tiny hands would reach toward her. Sarah sang him lullabies in English, told him stories about America, and promised him she would find a loving family to care for him forever. It was Sarah who handled all the legal paperwork for Wang Tao to be adopted by an exceptional Chinese family. The Chens, a couple of Beijing teachers who had been waiting years for the opportunity to become parents. Mrs. Chen was a Chinese literature professor, and Mr. Chen taught mathematics at a prestigious high school. The day Sarah handed Wang Tao over to his new family was emotional and bittersweet. The baby, now 9 months old, healthy and robust, smiled and babbled happily. Sarah kissed him on the forehead and whispered, "Always remember, little warrior, that you're capable of overcoming anything. Someday you'll understand how strong you are." The Chens promised to stay in touch with Sarah, but life has strange ways of separating people. Sarah's volunteer program ended 2 weeks later, and she returned to the United States to continue her career. In the chaos of moving to another country and starting a new stage of her life, they lost contact. Wang Tao grew up in a home full of love, education, and opportunities. The Chens told him from an early age about the American lady with golden hair who had saved him, but the details became blurry over time. They only had a blurry photograph of Sarah taken at the hospital, and the memory of her infinite kindness. As Wang Tao grew up, he developed an extraordinary personality. He was academically brilliant, especially in languages. He spoke Mandarin, English, and had started learning Spanish. But more than his intellectual abilities, what made him stand out was his compassion toward other children in need. At 10 years old, Wang Tao began asking more specific questions about his guardian angel. What was her name? Where does she live now? How can I thank her? His adoptive parents, moved by his persistent gratitude, began helping him in his search. Have you ever felt a debt of gratitude so deep that it consumes you until you can express it? The search began simply. Calls to hospitals, consultations with international volunteer organizations, basic internet searches. But finding one person in a world of millions, with limited information and language barriers, proved to be more difficult than they had imagined. Wang Tao, now 14 years old, had made finding Sarah his life's mission. He had learned fluent English partly in hopes of being able to communicate with her when he found her. He spent hours after school writing letters to American organizations, embassies, and international medical programs. Every "we don't have that information" and every "sorry, we can't help" devastated him, but also strengthened his determination. His parents saw how this search had become an integral part of his identity. It wasn't just about finding Sarah. It was about honoring the sacrifice she had made for him. At 16, Wang Tao was a handsome and determined young man who stood out at his school not only for his excellent grades, but for his volunteer work with abandoned children. Every weekend he visited orphanages, reading stories and helping with educational activities, feeling that somehow he was honoring the legacy of kindness that Sarah had started in his life. His friends often asked him why he invested so much time and emotional energy in searching for someone who might have completely forgotten his existence. Wang Tao always responded with the same conviction. She gave me the chance to have this incredible life. The least I can do is say thank you. The moment that changed everything came in 2019, when Wang Tao was 17 years old. A classmate suggested using international social media to expand his search. Wang Tao created profiles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, posting Sarah's blurry photograph along with his story. The post read, "Looking for the American nurse who saved me when I was a baby in Beijing in 2008. She had reddish blonde hair, blue eyes, and worked in an international medical program. If you know her or if you are her, please contact me. I just want to say thank you for giving me the chance to live." Have you ever posted something on social media hoping for a miracle? Do you believe in technology's power to connect hearts across the world? The post went viral in a way Wang Tao had never imagined. It was shared thousands of times, translated into multiple languages, and reached people on every continent. Chinese media picked up the story, then international media, and soon Wang Tao's search had become a global sensation. 3 weeks after his story went viral, Wang Tao received a direct message on Instagram that made his heart stop. "Hello Wang Tao, I think I'm the person you're looking for. My name is Sarah Jenkins, and I've never been able to forget the brave baby I saved in Beijing 11 years ago." The video call that followed was a torrent of indescribable emotions. Sarah, now 42 years old, worked as a nursing supervisor at a hospital in Seattle. She had married, had 2 children of her own, but had thought about Wang Tao almost every day for 11 years. "Wang Tao," Sarah said with tears streaming down her cheeks, "seeing how you've become this incredible young man. It's the most beautiful gift life has given me. I always wondered if you had found a good family, if you had grown up happy and healthy." Wang Tao, struggling to control his emotion, responded in perfect English. "Sarah, you gave me everything. You gave me the chance to have wonderful parents, an education, a life full of love. There aren't enough words to thank you." The face-to-face reunion happened 6 months later, when Sarah flew to Beijing with her family. The moment at the airport was magical. Wang Tao, now a tall and elegant 18-year-old young man, walked toward Sarah with that smile that had brightened her darkest days 11 years earlier. They hugged for long minutes, Sarah crying as she saw how her miracle baby, had become an extraordinary young man. Wang Tao's adoptive parents, the Chens, also finally met the woman who had made their family possible. Together they visited the exact place where Sarah had found Wang Tao. It was now a modern street with shops and cafes, but for them it remained sacred. Sarah told him details he had never known. How he had fought against hypothermia for days. How it had been his inner strength that had saved him as much as medical intervention. Wang Tao, Sarah said as they walked through Beijing's historic hutongs, that day you also saved me. You taught me that one person can make a difference, that small acts of kindness can change the world. Today, Wang Tao studies international medicine with the goal of becoming a pediatrician. Sarah and he maintain a deep friendship that transcends oceans. Together they have established a foundation that helps connect abandoned children with adoptive families, and also provides medical support to babies in emergency situations. What act of kindness have you done that might have changed someone's life without you realizing it? Or what act of kindness changed your life forever? Share it in the comments. Wang Tao's story teaches us that in a world that sometimes seems indifferent, there exists an invisible network of human compassion that connects strangers across time and distance. His 11-year search not only reunited him with his guardian angel, but inspired millions of people to believe in the transformative power of gratitude and kindness. Every day, ordinary people like Sarah make extraordinary decisions that change lives forever. And every day, people like Wang Tao remind us that true gratitude knows no limits of time or geographical boundaries. His story is living proof that miracles aren't supernatural events, but acts of human love that extend through the years until they find their way back to the heart that originated them.